Someone famous, I don't remember who because I saw them on TikTok and I'm a total Gen Xer who doesn't pay attention because of an overstimulated youth steeped in MTV and video games, once said that writing a first draft is the hard part and editing is the fun part. Personally, I think that person's a lunatic. Just finishing a piece of writing is so stressful for me that the task of editing it is as equally, if not more, daunting. In our last episode, Art and I were in the corner booth asking if you need an editor. And personally, I think the answer is yes. A big yes. A lot of yeses. Yes, 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 yes. And sure, yeah, maybe. You might be such a talented person that you don't need one, and I applaud your own skills. I also secretly curse your name in all the publications that you've been accepted at, but I'd never say that out loud. Personally, I like to have an editor because it allows someone to take a fresh look at something I've been staring at for way too long. Sometimes I get so entrenched, and the things I'm trying to say, the thing that I have in my head that's happening on the page, might not actually be on the page, or even between the lines. So this week, let's get you an editor. And maybe not an editor, maybe you just need a reader. Whoever it is, it should be someone that you trust who can look at your work and give you a different perspective on it. This can be a friend, a family member, maybe that person who sits in that cubicle on the other side of that huge open plan office from your cubicle. But hey, look, I gotta stop you real quick. No X's. I mean it. No X's. I know what you're thinking. You're just like, oh, I'll ask Terry, Tom, Tracy, Terrence. But realize you're probably just trying to do that because you're looking to build an emotional safety net with a person you've already been intimate with in an attempt to keep them in your sphere of influence because you're seriously just afraid of being alone in your life because you'd have to end up spending that time realizing what a horrible person you've been. To all those X's. And no amount of, hey, would you read this so I can prove that I have value and that I'm actually a good person and not the person that you knew is going to change that. I mean, not that I know what that's like. I mean, I just, have a friend who did that for years and years. Now, it might take time to find someone that you gel with. You might find someone who does well with grammar, but doesn't read the sort of stuff you're writing. Grammar smarties are still great people to have read your work, especially if you think a dangling participle is something that Scotty comes up with at the last second to keep the Enterprise from being blown up by the Romulans. But maybe you're experimental. Maybe you're not especially into grammar. So try to find someone whose work you yourself admire, who might get where you're coming from and whose writing path is kind of similar to your own. Also because, let's be honest, if they're reading your work, they should be able to turn around and have you read theirs. Whoever it is, it might be tough. Finding the right person might take some time, and you might end up going through a couple different friends as you find your reader. You might even find one who becomes a new friend. It's all about building a community. In the end, I can't tell you who the perfect editor or reader is for you because, you're you. You know, or will eventually know, what kind of person you need to read your work. Everyone's different. Whoever it is, keep looking and you'll eventually find that person. Now, very important, be respectful of other people's time. You ain't the center of the universe, man. If someone says yes to reading your 150,000-word opus, give them space. Don't pester them every day asking them how it's going. Try to have a talk going in about time commitments and what your reader is up for. Don't press them. Don't be a jerk. Also, when your reader or editor comes back with their analysis, take the note. Just take the note. You can discuss it, sure, but if they say something like, this is an abomination of the highest order, well, be graceful, thank them for their time, and look for someone else to read your stuff. No need to get into it or dissolve a friendship or relationship over creative differences. That's already ruined too many great bands. But when it comes to notes on your piece, realize, you know what? They might be right. Take the note, learn to take the note. So be patient. Be respectful of their time, and good luck finding someone to help you move your work forward. See you next week. Start writing.